Hello. Hey, everybody. Hey. It's been a minute, guys. And I'm so happy that me coming back is going to be with the Fit Lawyer. I'm so happy to see each and every one of you guys. I decided to come on earlier so that I can speak to everybody. We can kind of discuss what we're going to be talking about today. But I'm so happy to see you guys here. So this is Hey JT, I came in here to look at something. I said, not JT already commented. Hey Miguel, hey Summer, hey Shameen, hey Destiny, hey India, hey Megan, hey Takia, how are you? Hey Ty, hey Jamaica, Kiki, how are you? Hey Crystal, hey Brittany, hey Destiny, hey DJ Mommy, hey Kay, hey Jay. Y'all, I wanted to do this live because I'd seen the Fit Lawyer on X. And I was like, you know what? I need to have her come over because I have not gone over everything that's going on with Mounk Tounk the way I should have. And it's because I'll save it and then something will happen. And I say, you know what better way? Hey, Blackbird. Hey, Nisha. Hey, Gina. Hey, Tati. Hey, Courtney. Hey, Patricia. Hey, Erin. I said, what better way than to just have her come on, talk to us about everything that's been happening with Mounk Tounk, with his case. Yeah, hold up, y'all. I think my glass. Okay, there we go. With his case, so that she would be better fit to explain it. And so I reached out to her. She was like, sure, I'll come on. Y'all know we were supposed to start Melly today, but I had like 2 appointments early in the day. Then I had scheduled this for today at 7. So I said, you know what? I'll just push Melly back and then we'll get on and she'll come on and she'll talk to us about it. She said, work been boring. Work has been boring. Well, y'all, if work been boring, we've got a stretch coming up because the Melly trial was 19 days. So it's going to be a lot. It's 19 days, and from what it looks like, it doesn't look like they're going to. I don't know if they're going to trial in September. Hey, I'm her. I don't. Hey, Kiara. Hey, Jazz with the yellow heart. Hey, Danielle. I don't know if they're going to trial. It looks like the prosecution is really pushing for this trial to be pushed back. So I don't even think they're going to trial. I don't think they're going to trial. I saw a post recently with Melly's mom, and she was saying like he was upset with his attorneys, and it's a lot, but I don't know if they're going to trial. I don't know. Yes, remember we were always supposed to watch Melly #1, and then we started doing Karen Reed. So we said, okay, we'll wait and we'll go back to that, but we are going to watch the Melly trial because I only remember bits and pieces of it. You know, I always tell y'all my gut says, okay, it seems like he did it, but I need to see the evidence. That's not fair. I need to personally see the evidence and see what happened. So the next trial we'll be doing is Melly. Miss J was telling me about I think it's Mama Adelson, but that doesn't start until August. So I'm gonna do about 3 weeks. For the next 3 weeks, I'll be doing Melly. We'll do our same time frame. We'll be doing 9 to 4, just like we do during trial. So hopefully that helps you guys while you're at work. You'll have something to watch. Okay. I see the Fit Lawyer is on. Oh, I should have put my red lipstick on. Hold on, y'all. Let me add her up here. Hey, girl.
Girl, go get it, boo.
Put my red lipstick on too.
You know, you should have known.
I don't know what I was thinking. I should have done it too, so we could have our little whole chocolate red lipstick going up here. Okay.
Okay. I'm sorry. I think my other YouTube is playing in the background, so hopefully it wasn't coming through. But yes, I'm so good. Glad to be here. How you doing?
I thank you so much for being here. I was just telling them that I don't think I have done. He's gonna get me. I don't think I've done justice as far as reporting what's going on with his case. I try to post it, but really sitting down and talking about it. So what better way than to have you come over and talk to us about what's going on with him.
Mhm.
You just everything. I figure, I won't take a lot of your time today.
Girl, I'm here.
Don't say that.
Let's
Don't.
get into it.
Y'all better let her know. Don't say that over here because we'll sit on here for hours. So I won't keep you hours.
Okay, I got an hour. So
Yeah, we got. I think an hour is perfect. That's what I
okay.
planned for. But before we even get started, can you please introduce yourself to those of the people in my chat who don't know who you are?
Okay. Hello, chat. All right, Millionaire Male. Thank you so much. I was so honored when I got her. Well, Twitter, which I never even checked. And so I just happened to go. I saw Kayla's notification, something she posted on something this weekend. I happened to go look at that. I was like, let me see if I got some notifications. And bam, mail inbox me. And I'm like, what? Okay. I love to. So I am the Fit Lawyer ATL. I have my own YouTube channel. Thanks to the lead attorney, gave me the TLA effects October 28th during the YSL trial.
Yeah.
I was down there being nosy the first day they took a plea, and here we are. So I am a 20-year criminal defense attorney here in Atlanta, Georgia. I have my own practice. We do personal injury as well. So car accidents, slip and falls. If any of that happens and you're in Atlanta or anywhere in Georgia, look us up at adamsfirm.com. And so I'm one of those type of people that's always wanted to be an attorney. So I'm doing exactly what I was put on earth to do. So
I love that. I'm putting it in here, the adamsfirm.com.
yes.
Should have got this when I was on here. That was something I was going to tell you that when I first started watching YSL before I got on TikTok, I used to watch the lead attorney a lot. I did not know that there were attorneys online explaining things like this. And so during the YSL, I would watch lead and I would see you pop up all the time. And I do remember when he just said he had you on there one day and he said, "Why don't you start YouTube?" So I do remember that. So that leads into my next question is, how is it now? Not only are you practicing, but now you have YouTube. You're helping us understand and navigate the judicial system. How is that?
You know what? It's just really been amazing. Like even the journey to lead and to YouTube was just God's all up in all of it, right? So my pastor actually emailed me the October before the YSL trial and was like, you know what? I see this for you, this lane, this YouTube, because I had, and he wasn't even aware. 2 weeks prior to him sending me this message, I had started my YouTube page in a sense of just putting my firm video on there because I had to embed it somewhere to put it on my website. That's like the only reason. And so everybody had kind of started calling me the fit lawyer from me going through a weight loss journey in 2020, losing 150 pounds in a year. And so that name just stuck. So that's what I put on the YouTube, right? So he says, I see this lane for you. I really see this for you. So, because he's had me up on his YouTube in the process that I did, which is totally virtual and on Facebook. And
Okay.
so he's like, I see this for you. I follow this attorney, the lead attorney. You should check him out. So I started following lead a year prior to him pulling me up at the courthouse that day and giving me all these followers. So it was like already the seed was planted. So look, God is all up and through everything, which is why I just embrace it when it comes and just, enjoy the ride.
The good thing about all of that is I just feel like I feel my story is kind of similar with when it came to YSL. I wanted to do content. I thought I was doing content. And then YSL showed me, girl, you were never really doing content. Now that I'm doing it, the seeds are there, but sometimes you need someone to come in and water that plant. And and it just grows. It grows from there. So I remember that day when he was like, everybody go over and follow. I remember that day. So it's really, really.
And it was literally just me being nosy. Like I was at Clayton County that morning. We're following, right? So, by this time, the mistrial motion had come the week before. So now we're like on the third or fourth day of being kicked out the courtroom. So I'm literally in court at 9 a.m. in Clayton County and Lee's up. Him and AV are on and they're talking about it. And I just put in the chat, hey, I'm about to go down to Fulton County when I leave here and be nosy. I'll let y'all know what's going on. Literally, never did I know that when I walked onto that hallway that I was going to see all of the attorneys in the hallway, Thug's family in the hallway, such and such families in the hallway. Like it was buzzing. Like you knew something was about to go down.
Yes.
So I knew most of the attorneys on the trial just because I've been practicing for 20 years. So like, I'm not gonna say the name, but so some of us have practiced together on cases together and stuff, right? So if I see you in the hallway, I'm like, bruh, what's up? Tell me the scoop. I said, now let me give you a heads up. I'm in the lead chat dropping tea.
Yes.
So I won't say your name, but tell
We
me what's
love a
going on.
respectful queen, okay? A
Very,
respectful queen.
very. So I'm like, and they just started telling me. So I started dropping the leads chat. He's saying it. People are following. They put it on Twitter. I met China. And that just literally was me feeling her energy in the hallway. And I was like, she is happy about something because she was dancing in her pants. Like,
Now, who is China?
this is the
Nichols.
Marquavius Nichols'
Yes.
wife.
Okay.
And so he's the one that took the first plea that day.
Yes.
So she was just dancing around with all this excitement. And I was like, okay, sis got tea. So let me stay close. So we just started vibing and I just started talking to her. And then she was looking for Miss Sylvia actually to tell her something. I got to make sure Miss Sylvia get this right. I said, well, Miss Sylvia upstairs in the media room, but you can step out here and talk to me because I'm in the lead chat. And then I got her number. Once Lee ran my followers up to like 3,200 by the time I left the courthouse, I hit China up.
It was
just
crazy.
like that. I had 60 followers. I wasn't even thinking about followers because I'm not even thinking about starting my channel on that day.
Yes.
I was thinking, 2025 sometime we'll get that started. So I'm just literally out there to be nosy, immersed in it because I'm a lawyer. This is exciting to me, and I'm just reporting it back to the people. That's it. Who knew?
There's someone on TikTok, and she says, moral of the story, be nosy.
Be nosy.
Be nosy.
Be nosy.
Be nosy.
First live that night had 17K views. Like it was over 1,000 people in the chat. I didn't even have StreamYard. I'm gonna tell y'all, when God has something for you, like I didn't even have StreamYard till that night when I got home. I literally emailed Lead and said, I'm about to go live with China. I'm so scared. Please help me. I don't know what to do. And he called and he hit me on the FaceTime and had me walk through everything. Literally.
How's Lead doing?
He is doing good. He's doing good. Yeah, we were talking last week when the Diddy verdict came down. So he's doing good.
That's awesome. We're gonna save that for later because I've had to do some real soul searching when it comes to Diddy's trial. Like some real soul searching when it comes to Diddy trial. But one of my questions that really would tie in is about
Miss Jefferson.
Hey, Miss J is simply about RICO because with Diddy trial, I said, well, I get why they brought the charges up. And then now that I've been reflecting, I know that RICO they really use RICO. It's just so broad, right? When they can't they're using RICO. So just specifically talking about RICO and being a defense attorney, how do you feel about how prosecutors are using RICO now?
Oh, widespread now, right? So that's two parts. So Diddy. Technically, if the jury wanted to find him guilty of RICO, I feel like they could have, right? Because I feel like there was proof of coercion, there was proof of kidnapping. I think the prosecutors just overcharged things in the sense of focusing so much on Cassie and the salaciousness of the sex stuff, hoping that would turn everybody against Diddy. So then it just was presented in such a mess, right? And we're all waiting to see the victims, and now they're naming the prostitutes as victims. So now, it's just like, what? How are they victims when they willingly participated?
I'm just happy you said that.
Yeah, and then it's just so. But if I'm a juror, I'm knowing this is a life in prison sentence. And I'm not really, because I guess the enterprise was hard for people to see because it's not like he started Bad Boy to have freak offs and all of this stuff. But did he use his employees to do what he was doing? Hell yeah. KK doing stuff. So technically, but I get it and I'm not mad.
You sound like me, Fit. This is what.
Yeah. And I didn't even see your commentary on it. So this is just really.
Yeah, I had to really do some soul searching. And I was like, I do feel I see why they charged it, but I also see why we got the verdict that we got. Because when I listen to it, I'm like, it sounds like he is using them to carry out things that were illegal. But I'm like you. I think what I've learned since really getting into these trials, it's about who tells the best story.
Yes.
And I do think the story that the prosecution told, it just didn't stick.
Yeah.
I don't know what else they should have focused on, but from what the jury, from their verdict, it seems like focusing on those victims and the freakouts. Which, by the way, did you see the alternate juror say it was nothing special about these tapes?
I didn't see
I
that.
think it may have played a part in it. I think
Yeah, I definitely think so because we all wanted to see more. Like, right? I wanted more
who
victims.
is
Not saying I wanted more
victim.
people to be a victim to him, but I'm saying,
I think that
where are the victims? All right, you're talking about Cassie. She
yeah,
just got 20 million. I know this, right?
yeah.
Okay. And then Jane, y'all are still together and you're still paying for her hotel. I mean, paying for where she stays.
Fit, would you have put Jane up there?
I'm
Jane should have stayed at home. I said Jane should have stayed at home.
She wanted to.
Jane should have stayed
About
at
3
home.
days into it, she wanted to pull her nose up out of it, but it was too late because she realized how stupid it looked. Like,
I just, and please don't think I'm laughing at Jane. I am laughing at the fact that you sat down and you heard her. And I'm sure she had to say the same things when she was behind those doors. Because I think Jane came off like she's still his girlfriend. I'm doing this. The thing that sticks out to me about Jane, I'm doing this for my lover. She kept saying that. Even Cassie, after the verdict fit, I was toe up. I mean, toe up in the sense where I was just like, dang, like really? But then I started thinking, well, did the jurors need to see something other than girlfriends? Is that the issue? And were they torn between these, as people out? I think that people on the outside world are a good representation of the jury. Were they torn between DV, which is so many, and I kept telling people it's still assault. When you get to it, it's still assault. But were they torn between that? So
and then the statute of limitations had ended on that, right? So he wasn't even on trial for that, but they were trying to. But the judge, I was watching a Classy earlier. He was playing something with Joe from that represented ASAP Rocky on, and they were talking about it, and they were saying basically the judge in his denial for bail talked about Diddy's violence, right? Even though he wasn't charged with it. And the government, they're using those violent things and some stuff that came out at trial to escalate the sentencing for his charges, which are reasons I talked about that on the show last week, is why he didn't get bail and why he's probably going to be sentenced to about 5 years versus probation or the 20 to 27 that his defense team feels he should get. And so I thought that was very interesting, right? Because June 2024, 3 months before he got arrested, he was beating on Jane. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, yeah.
And then the arguments. There is, what did this particular content creator, he told me I'm a professional tweeter, but his argument there is she started the fight, all of these things. But I think the judge was very telling in why he didn't let him out. And not only that, I said, as a defense attorney, how did you feel when he used their words against them? He said, you guys told us this was domestic violence. You admitted that he's a violent person. I was on the floor.
And they did, right? Because they want the jury to focus on things that he wasn't charged with. Like, they really didn't have a strong defense, right? It wasn't, I didn't do these things. It was, I did, but let's characterize them in a different way, right? I mean, that's all really that they could do. So it comes back to bite you, and it just really let them know that he's going to prison. He's not getting probation. He's not going to go to jail for a long time. He's going to probably, like I say, I guess 5 years. I'm thinking 5.
We're going to see. Thank you for that. But I had to ask that about RICO because that is new. It just happened.
Oh, so let me go back to your question on that for everything. Yes, prosecutors across Georgia are overcharging RICO. They are charging kids in RICO cases. I think the drug rich case is going on in Fulton County now. They just finished prosecuting that under RICO in Gwinnett last year. So RICOs are popping up everywhere. And kids, they're charging them because they have a lot of car stealing rings, like car theft rings, and anything that's a ring, they're charging it under RICO if that's what's happening.
So let's walk back because I'm keeping time. Let's walk back. This YSL RICO is going on in Georgia. You practice. Fulton County is somewhere I'm sure you practice as well. You see that there's a big RICO case that's coming up. I'm sure you heard about it before many of us knew it was the way it was. What were you thinking what was your initial reaction to the RICO?
They trying to put Thug in jail. That was it. Like, that was the only purpose of it. I mean, they really, they brought people back from prison to indict them in a case on charges they had already been sentenced for.
That's another
to
question for
create the RICO. And that is the part that you're just like, you really piece this shit together, because it wasn't like you arrested people on new things and then you investigated. Y'all, I mean, and it's so funny because I have used Tyrone Dennis in a case in the past. I've hired him as a gang expert in a murder case that I had. So I have seen his CV.
Oh,
Back
wait.
20.
Did you know when you hired him? And please, Mr. Dennis, don't try to do nothing.
Oh no, we still cool. I got his number, so if I say something crazy, he gonna be texting me.
Okay, well, I just like to know, at the time, did you know that he was using Boys in the Hood for his, for his?
No, I did not know that. Okay, I did not know that.
Okay,
I did not know that.
I just want to know if he was using that for study material.
I can say in his CV at the time we hired him, which was 2018, it was stuff about this case. So it was stuff about it. Yes, if I pull it up now, you will see investigative notes and everything about the YSL case, because they had already been investigating stuff 2014, 2015, 2016. Nuts murder is listed in his CV.
I hope he takes it out.
So I had already had all that tea before they even got to an indictment back in 2018. So this was a case that has been slow brewing. This was a case that Paul Howard, the previous DA, decided not to prosecute because he knew they had already charged 3 different people with Nuts murder prior to getting to this YSL case. So he knew that they didn't have the evidence. But once DA Willis became DA, she wanted to make a name for herself. And so she chose to do it with this case. So yeah, it's been something that they have been working on for years.
Okay, so do you think at some point there was an obsession with this particular group of guys? Because I mean, look how many years you're calling out. And it almost reminded me of, like, I can't think of a movie right now, but movies where there are cops where, oh my God, BMF right now. How that cop is just, I've got to get Meech, I've got to get Terry. And it reminded me of that when I heard it. I said, okay, was there anything else going on in Fulton County outside of these guys?
Right. I will say the area of town that Cleveland Avenue that they're from, and it is a rough area of town. So there is a lot of crime in that area. So they probably had a lot of arrests with people who were associated with YSL for some reason, whether they were calling it out or whatever. So, and then knowing that Young Thug was associated, I'm sure made them always, want to have something to do with this case. And so it was sexy, right? We're trying to bring down Young Thug as a rapper. We're going after the lyrics. We're using RICO to do, it was a lot of new things. And so when you're trying to use something to propel you to the next level, once you set on that track, you ride it out. You can't back off. What did you all ever expect? Did you ever think there was going to be a day where she would wake up and say, I was wrong? No, you got to ride it out.
I can't fit. I thought when it really started getting bad up in that courtroom, I said, she going to wake up. I said, she's got to stop it.
If she did that, where did that get her? You can't back off. She was going after Trump at the same time. She can't back off.
Fit, I did. I said one day, somebody bring it up.
I had hope as well, okay? Do you know how hurt I was after we filed the first Mounk Tounk motion that we spent like 30, 40 hours on, and we got a improper ruling 3 days later? I was like, this is you cool?
Hey, y'all, I just love Fit. Fit, you need a little sister. Girl. So let's go there, because let's go there. First of all, I'm gonna say this for the record. I remember at the time, I don't think I was streaming when Mounk went up. I was only doing my videos on TikTok. Okay. And what I loved about that time, even now, I love my chat. That's the thing that I love the most. I love communicating with my chat. Mm-hmm. And I can remember the comments when Mounk was up there. Mm-hmm. We kept saying, oh my God, I don't think he understands what's in his plea. Does he even know what's in his plea? And I hate to talk about me, people like me, a lay person who we try to go in and with each other, we figure out what this document is saying. Mm-hmm. I just didn't feel like he understood it. And I remember it. They started talking about his education. And I mean, I thought it was just strange to have an attorney, but you sign something and think that I can explain it away once I get on the stand. I want to make sure I don't want to talk about his attorney because he was very clear
No.
about it.
Yeah.
But I am saying I thought that was strange.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
how were you feeling when you saw? Could you see the setup fit? Because I could see the setup when she brought out his plea agreement, and she was just like, just tell me what parts you don't understand. And I was like, oh my gosh, she's setting him up. Could
You
you
know what? I didn't see it. I did not know that 2 weeks after he got off the stand, they were going to file a motion to revoke his probation. I did not see that because you got to think of his part in this. It's so minimal, right? And so the things that he's testifying about, was it a gang? Like, come on, we already established it's a gang. Y'all said more than three or more people. We passed that. It's a gang. But what they doing, the things that you're saying and furtherance of all of that stuff, right? So I was really, really surprised. Now, Derek Wright, great attorney. He's been an attorney for a very long time. He's been Mounk Tounk's attorney for a very long time. I ran into him maybe like a month ago in court. He asked me how Mounk Tounk was doing. He is still representing members of his family. And a lot of the things that James, Happily Angry.
Wait, I need you to say his full name. I have it on here because I call him Happily Angry Lawyer.
Yes, James Robichaud. Yes, Happily Angry Lawyer. He, the things that we found, because you got to think about it, right? When Derek Wright is representing Mounk Tounk first time around, right? He's part of this 28 defendant indictment for RICO. He's locked up at the time his mom is ill. The only instructions are get me home ASAP. And so that is the direction his attorney is coming into it. He's not coming into it saying, what can I argue emotional? You don't do that when you're trying to work out a plea. I'm not going to trial. So you waive certain things, and the prosecutors are not going to negotiate with you to work out a plea if you're at the same time filing motions, arguing motions. And so you pick one track or the other. So the thing he picked to work out a plea deal for his client. And so I don't have an issue with that. Now, there were some errors because I don't understand how we signed a plea deal that's got number 8 in it and we didn't agree to number 8. Okay, so that's we just gonna have to call a spade a spade. Now that's an error, and I do not agree with the lack of preparation before he testified. I have represented defendants a lot as well who have been co-defendants, and we have to testify. And baby, you better believe I know the discovery back and forth, and I'm going to cross-examine you before the prosecutors have a chance, because what comes out your mouth is going to matter or not our deal goes through. So I'm going to prep you. You're my client. I paid you. You paid me. So I'm there to prepare you. I'm not going to rely on Ms. Love or anybody out of DA's office to prepare you. We know what the testimony is. I know what you need to get on the stand and say, and we're going to prepare you for that. So I got a problem if that wasn't done. And now, so some of the other stuff like the Demir argument about the counts being wrong and we couldn't have a motion to vacate until he was sentenced illegally. Now, so that whole thing, how that worked, I can understand how that happened in the midst of, we just got to get him a plea, because you got to understand negotiations and deal was 3 days.
3 days.
3 days.
I believe I remember him saying that. And when he was talking, it sounded like it was just if it happened fast. It
happened fast for Mounk Tounk. Now, I'm not saying his lawyer, I believe in November, he testified to starting in November talks, but you got to think he pled December 28th. He was presented a plea deal on the 27th. So they're still from the 27th to the 28th, less than 24 hours. That's when all of those amendment emails got exchanged. All of that stuff is happening, so it's just so unfortunate. And if that man left that courtroom December 28th, 2022, and the next time you're questioning him about what he pled to is in the trial, who could get that right? Who would be right?
It seemed like it really fit from me watching. Hey, Ronnie, thank you for the super chat. For me, it just seemed like he was lost. And I was thinking to myself, like, did he read this?
And then you see emotions, right? And then you can kind of understand why he was so lost, right? Because you see that, okay, so you got the agreement given to him on the 27th, and it has these factual allegations attached to it, and it's all of these numbers they're going through, and that he's going through what I'm not going to agree to, what I will agree to, tweak this, tweak that. And then you get the final on the 28th, right? Then they go before Judge Glanville to enter the plea, and he says, no, you can't do it that way. So then they step to the side, the attorneys whisper back and forth for a few minutes, work out a different agreement on count 30, because originally they were going to dismiss count 30.
Okay.
Once he testified, they were just going to release him on it. they weren't going to sentence him on count 30. They were trying to withhold sentencing, which you can't do, because if you do that, he's got to have at least a bond on the charge to get out, or he's going to be still sitting in custody. So what you're trying to do is not going to happen this way. So do something different. So they go back and renegotiate and come back. Now it's not put in writing what we renegotiate to. They just present it in open court. So, and then there's a disposition sheet that's typed up that I'm sure he didn't get a copy of because he got released on probation. I'm sure he's not walking around with his sentencing sheet in his pocket to know what all of these conditions. All he know is if they call me, I know I got to show up and testify.
I got to show up and testify.
Period.
And I think that's what we saw too. You know, I'm so happy when I saw that you were on the case. I'm like, okay, I'm so happy.
And that was the power of YouTube, right? That was me coming on YouTube, speaking, saying, is there anything I could do? I wish there was a way of help, because I really didn't see it, right? And I have a practice, so I have my own clients, so it's hard for me just to jump out and say, hey, you want me to help you? Like, I didn't know a way in. And so Cat Not Williams heard me say that a couple times. Knew James was digging through everything out in California, just interested off the trial from watching on YouTube. And so she connected us, and he sent me an email one day and said, hey, I heard you want to help Mounk Tounk. I found some errors. Are you interested in seeing what I got? And I said, sure, send it over. Because I'm thinking at the time, oh, we're just going to go attack this probation revocation hearing, because now what the F was that? Now that I got a problem with, because buddy, what was that? Yo, the probation revocation. Oh my God. It was horrible. Okay.
Yeah, okay. I love that we're just flowing, because, okay, when I was watching, I want to know if you could explain it to me, because I did see you guys got the count 30 vacated, right? We got that done. But she wouldn't budge on that 5 years. And I know you're still doing cases with her, so I'm gonna be nice. But I felt like she wouldn't go back on it because she has to stand on it. I'm like, it's been time. You have to know that was crazy, because honestly, now I'm not Mounk Tounk, Antonio Sledge, for those of you that don't know. I'm not him. However, it did seem like he was doing his best, okay? And who are we to say it wasn't his best? Exactly. He was supposed to be up there, I think, a day. He was up there for almost a week, I believe.
Yes.
He was trying. He was trying. So for her to act like he thought it was a joke, I'm like, does she know where he come from? Like,
right.
I don't think he doesn't want to be there. And the fact that he's still trying to do his best.
Exactly.
He's like, okay.
After you just got to watching They My Shoulders, you felt like Antonio Sledge gave you worse than My Shoulders.
I didn't want to compare the two, but since
he was a witness right after.
Since we're here.
Yeah, he was the witness right after.
And Woody was by far the worst, the hardest witness that I think we saw up on that stand. And he was up there for weeks.
Mm-hmm. With two different judges.
And you thought that somehow Mounk Tounk thought it was a game. I really thought he tried. Five. I'm still stuck on that. But as an attorney, how did you feel when you were watching that?
Devastated. And Ali actually had brought me up on his channel that day to watch it. And so we were watching it live. Tears, like, devastated. My heart broke for him, because you could tell even in that moment, and I have gotten confirmation of this, that he didn't understand even in that moment what was happening. Even the fact that he was could possibly be going to jail that night was not something that was an understanding.
Oh, wow.
I have a problem with that, because that is your attorney's job to ensure you understand what is going on and to actually have a hearing, right? Because if the judge is about to revoke my client because you feel like he didn't testify in trial, you better believe you're finna hear from his whole family. His grandmama finna hit
everybody.
These kids finna hit that stand. You finna get some letters, character letters from his boss. But he didn't have a boss because he had his own trucking company with a DOT number and a whatever other number they need to drive the trucks. He had contracts. You best believe the world would have known.
I needed to know that.
Doesn't the judge need to know?
I needed to know all of this.
Nerve to say, I hope this doesn't impact your life too much. Do you know that you snatched him away from his child's senior night that he didn't get to attend? He had 2 seniors that just graduated in May. Like, how callous of her to say, I hope 5 years in prison in the Georgia prison system where people are dying every day doesn't set you back. She acted like she gave the Negro 2 weeks at the county jail and a $10 fine. Like, that shit pissed me off.
Don't tick me off it, because I remember her saying that, and I was thinking, what the do you mean not set him back? You hoping that yes, it's gonna set him back 5 years. What do you? I just thought she was way too harsh, and for her getting up there saying, this isn't a joke, this is serious. I'm just thinking to myself, nothing about that man on that stand gave joke
at all. He said, "Don't talk to me like a child." He took that very seriously. Okay? He was respectful.
He was there.
Dressed Nike should be. I mean, he showed up every day, ready, and gave them what they were asking.
He even apologized to Kitten Hills when she was mean to him, like she was very nasty and made him get upset. He apologized, and I'm just thinking to myself, like, the man is trying. So for her to say this is not a game, were we watching the same thing?
I couldn't believe it.
There was several times during this trial that I feel like Judge Whitaker, she really overstepped when it came to certain things, and I think it was a personal feel. I say that again, and I know that's not what we're talking about, but when she just stepped in and started questioning Kayla, the way she spoke to her, I said, damn. I said, well, hell, I don't want to go in front of her, because look how she talks to an attorney.
Yeah.
Regardless of how you felt about Kayla and what happened to the officer of the court.
Yeah.
Taking someone else's work. It was just a lot Judge Whitaker did. So I do say, when people say, oh, YSL Page, they say all these things about her, listen, she's not my favorite judge. I think there are things she could have done during the trial she didn't do. But I think there are things that she did that we celebrated, letting Thug out, all of these things. Yeah. But Paige with Mounk Tounk, I just can never be her cheerleader after doing that, because he really was trying.
He was. And then I really thought that I kind of was like, oh, she just got on the bench. I don't think she had the trial a month when that whole situation happened. I think he was her first witness. And I thought, well, maybe you're this hard because you don't know yet. You're pro prosecution. You haven't seen how horrible your old office is treating this case. But by the end of the case, after you've seen how horribly this fell apart, I mean, she didn't even let the jury announce the verdict. She was ready to go. She didn't even let Yak get all the way up.
Verdict fit. Yak hadn't even stood all the way up.
Have you ever seen a judge read the verdict? The judge looks at the verdict and hands it back to the jury for a person. She said, everything yet, and he didn't even stand up. So she was ready to go. So I thought that her attitude towards them had changed because she finally saw all the games and the tricks and saw how this could have played out. So I really had high hopes that when she had an opportunity to provide a correction, she would. But at the same time, hey, she's a judge, right?
I agree with you. I was when I saw that she didn't like walk back that 5 years, I said, oh, she's really standing on this. And my first thought was, it's because people dogged her so bad for it, and she just feels like, okay, I can't do it. But it's
like, and I don't know if people understand really what we're even arguing about with Mounk. So what the issue was so he was sentenced to 2 counts. He was sentenced to count 1 and 30. The issue was that the first indictment and the second charged him with count 30 being 131B, and he was sentenced as if he was charged with 133, which is the max 15, 131, the max is 10. His max is only 5.
Okay.
So that is how that was an illegal sentence. So we had an argument. So we're like, all right, we got to end. Let's go in for the kill. So we argue, which I believe the Court of Appeals will agree with us, and hopefully they will, that his plea deal was a package deal. All right, you gave him a 7-page agreement. It was packaged together. If you plead to count 1, originally, remember, they were going to let count 30 go.
Yep, I remember.
You didn't even want him to be sentenced on count 30, so you can't tell me that's not a package deal if I let you plead to both, but I'm only going to sentence you on one and release you on the other. That's a package. So therefore, if part of that package is illegal, the entire package should be vacated, and I should be able to withdraw my guilty plea and let's go take this shit to trial.
Ooh, wait a minute. Say what? Hey, we on YouTube.
Pull out some Mr. Fed, like, you know what I'm saying? Take this shit to trial. You see what I'm saying? That's what we came for. Okay, because we already know you can't prove RICO. What the hell is other charges? Uncharged. We can beat that. You see what I'm saying? So that's what we were. Well, Judge Whitaker got our motion 3 days later, and our motion was good. Now, Adams reviewed our motion. Other attorneys reviewed the motion. Like, we not playing no games, okay? This 20 years over here. The motion was good. All right, so she gets the motion, and in 3 days, she issues a ruling resentencing him to 10 years on count, 5 years on count 30, running in consecutive, so changing his sentence from 30 years to 20. I fixed it. Have a good day. You're still wrong, ma'am, because the law requires any new amended sentence to be announced in open court. He should have been brought to court for you to resentence him, period. So you did it wrong. That's a wrongness. And if you had given us a hearing, we could have made you see that this is a package deal. So you should have vacated everything. And once you do vacate everything, now you turn to him and say, what do you want to do?
Now we can if we're going to go to trial, we're going to go to trial. So the purpose of the motion was to vacate everything. And
everything.
We start over.
Everything based off of count 30 being illegal, and it's a package deal. So now that she ruled, you only have 30 days to file a notice of appeal. We did that on time. After that, though, we still had other issues because our original motion argued the package deal, and you never addressed it.
Mm-hmm. So
she just ignored that entire argument. So I felt, because she addressed the fact that she resentenced on count 30, and then she addressed the probation, why she wasn't revoking, trying to say I didn't revoke the first 5. And she messed up in that. Okay, so y'all remember he got sentenced December 2022.
Mm-hmm.
So at the time that he goes to this revocation, he's already been on probation almost 2 years, right?
Okay.
So when you then revoke 5, you're revoking year 2 through 7, right?
Okay.
He wrote the order up and said, I revoked the first 5 years of his sentence. So you made it seem like his sentence didn't start until October 2024. So you took away 2.5 years he's already served. So in essence, you made his sentence longer.
You made it longer.
You fixed it, but you messed it up too again. So we got an argument there. So we were under the assumption, yes, we're appealing your order, but we can come back and argue again here because you didn't give us a ruling on the package deal. But they told us last week we're wrong, and I've confirmed we are.
Okay.
And so that now we are at the point, since we filed the notice of appeal, all arguments have to be filed in appellate court. Not an issue. Our brief is already done.
Okay.
So we just got to wait on the transcripts and paperwork and everything to get to the appeals court, and then we'll file our brief there. The state will have 20 days to respond after we do, and then it's in the Court of Appeals' hands, and we shall see.
So when the thing that you're arguing with the Court of Appeals, again, you're just trying to vacate everything and then see if he wants to go to trial. That's where we are with the appeal.
Well, when you get to the Court of Appeals, you got to argue everything.
Everything.
So now we're arguing ineffective assistance of counsel. We're arguing how they messed up the probation revocation hearing, because if you all will recall, what was the hearing? Did somebody testify? Did somebody get on the stand? Did evidence get presented? No. Judge Whitaker said, I'm going to take judicial notice. I feel like that was improper. I feel there was some ineffective assistance of counsel at the hearing, so we got to argue that point. So, and also when they stood up, I don't know if you all recall the probation revocation, the probation officer was on the Zoom, and Judge Whitaker said, what's criminal history? And she started reading a whole bunch of shit out.
Mm-hmm.
He's never been charged with aggravated sexual battery or any kind of sexual crime. And I don't know where that and a couple other charges she was reading come from. They're not his. So I have to only assume as a judge, if you're asking for the information, you're considering that and deciding the 5 years as well. So you didn't even get that correct.
Accurate.
No, but the only problem is the law says you have to make that argument within 30 days after the revocation hearing, which we weren't even involved in the case at that time. So that argument will come up. There'll be there was some incorrect things that were done at his plea hearing that Jim picked out in the last motion that we filed that if he's correct, and he just may be, he never entered a plea yet to begin with. There was some stuff that happened there. So it's a lot of errors, and we're just throwing them all into the appeal, and we'll just see what sticks.
God bless you guys, because one of the things that I think was you could see so many of these defendants who took pleas, they didn't understand it, and there was no one really advocating for them.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're just trying to get out of jail and you're not worried about what the paperwork says, as long as the lawyer says you go home, then we end up in these situations. So I love that now. It's just crazy that you guys are going back and you're finding all of these errors that should have been caught.
Yeah.
The man could be out of jail right now had they been caught.
So that's the only thing is, and I can't, I know how we want to feel that way, but you got to remember he took a plea. So when you're taking a plea, you're not going to argue. Some of these errors are not going to be argued, and some of them didn't occur until he actually took the plea. So you kind of had to have a hindsight is 2020
okay
view on it. So yeah, so this is not a bash there, right? Thing.
Which, of course, yes. Look,
yeah,
Mounk was there.
He got his client what he wanted. He got his client out of jail. That's what he wanted.
He got out of jail
after. And some stuff he wasn't aware of, because Love, I mean, let me tell you something. When me and Jim got involved, we ain't trust Love. We ain't look. Love.
I'm glad you're thinking.
So Love was the first point of contact that we were given for our motion and conversation. Tried to meet with her. She flim-flammed me a few times, and I was like, all right, I'm back again. We about to file. Y'all want to talk? And then we got a body. And he took over, and Love was no longer in the room. So, and nobody trusts Love. Like the other attorneys that were on this case that we asked to review, they were like, "Nah, I don't trust Love. Don't send her nothing. I don't trust Love."
Yeah, this is in all honesty. I said, Miss Love, the YSL trial, the judges have to think twice when you get up there and talk to them, because you can't be trusted. That was my problem. I didn't care that she was a prosecutor, because it wasn't like, oh, I hate them. No, it was the way you acted, your tactics. And it was just like, oh, you would do anything to win. And it's supposed to be about justice. I'm sorry.
I don't
trust it either, child. I'm sorry.
But you know what? And it's I can understand why she's been a career prosecutor, right? You've been a prosecutor for a very long time. I had a case with her in 2018 and won in 37 minutes.
Oh, wait a minute.
Not guilty. Not guilty on a rape case. Okay, so but in that case, and I've spoken on it before, she did the same thing to me. She filed a motion to meet with the judge in chambers, the ex parte hearing. She filed a material witness warrant on the victim to force the victim to come to court and testify. She had the victim who had been telling these people she had not been R-worded the entire time the case was pending, and they kept trying to convince her she had been. And they actually arrested her and brought her out of the back to testify in court the next day. The victim. But guess what happens? See, like, God has a way of working. So when you're doing something wrong, he will show up in some kind of way. I'm telling you, this trial, I was so nervous. I tried this case by myself. My client paid me $2,500 because I thought my line sister called me. She was like, I got this client I've been working with. He needs some help. He's charged with rape. The girl didn't do it. Their girlfriend, boyfriend, they have a baby, da-da-da-da. So I talked to him. It all came from a butt dial phone call on an iPhone. Called the police during an argument and fight. And so what they heard and the screams they heard, they thought they were hearing a rape. And so they came out on a rape call. It took them 2 hours to find these people because they had to triangulate the call. And they get there and they end up arresting him, getting her, and he is charged with rape from this butt dial phone call. And they have both been saying from day one that is not what occurred. Okay, so that's what's going on. Right. So in discovery, when I get discovery for this case, you will not believe that I got a rape kit in discovery, and there was never a rape kit in my case. Whose rape kit it was? The victim herself had been raped by someone who worked for Fulton County years prior, and they did not prosecute the case. So you know what I did with that information? Oh, you better believe it came out on cross-examination. So, how sure are you that you understand what a rape is? Oh, because I was in 20 blah blah, and I reported to Fulton County, and they did. Okay. And my jury for a person was a pastor, and that not guilty came down in 37 minutes. But if it had not, he was going to prison for 25 years and there'd been nothing the judge could do. And when I tell you, Love did everything she tried to do to convict him versus simply trusting the victim is telling you the truth. So you ask why she couldn't bag off? I don't know that she knows bag off. She knows what that means.
Well,
That was 2018. 2018.
I think Miss Love, and as someone who's diagnosed OCD, and sometimes you can't let something go. I can tell Miss Love has to have it far worse than me. She needs to go see my doctor.
And you know she's a science nerd. Like she has that science degree background. She started out in the sciences and stuff.
That might be why. I don't know if anyone in here remembers how Miss Love, we said it looked like she had on a lab coat one day. Maybe that's why, guys. She is reliving her science time. And I tell people all the time, it's not that I think Miss Love is incompetent. I don't know why she does. She seems like a very educated woman. It's just that when she sees something she wants, she's gonna stop. She's not gonna stop until she gets it, even if that means she ruins her reputation and those around her to be right. Yeah. And that's what I saw, and I hated that because I love that Fulton County. It's one of it's one of the blackest counties.
I was gonna say, don't struggle with that word, blackest.
It's the blackest. I had to struggle with counties.
But you know what though, and it is.
And their office, Funny's office has just really. I mean, everyone I've seen. I mean, a body looks like he will work with people, and I forget the other guy's name. Y'all know Mr. Haircut. But. What's his name?
Atkinson. Is that the one you're talking about? The military?
Is it Atkins?
Atkins or the Atkins? Is it Atkins?
I don't know. They know who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And it's so bad because we watched it so much. We would get these funny nicknames for everyone. But I just no, not a body, y'all. It's Atkins. Yes.
Yeah, Atkins. Mm-hmm.
But it just made me look at it different. I was just like rooting for them. But the more the case went on, Funny talking about they had a good time. I said a good time.
I said this when she got the first plea. She is gonna have a soundbite because technically she got some convictions for RICO. No matter how it happened,
she did.
She got some convictions for RICO. She got some people off the streets. Some people did get some time. Some people are still in custody. Some people being locked up again. You know, so hate it, love it. I mean, she's gonna be around for a while, guys. I'm just telling you.
It's proof when she was reelected.
Yeah. Well, let's be fair now. Let's be fair because I supported that campaign as well. Let's be fair. You're not gonna put up a little 4-year attorney who's never practiced a criminal case and thinks she's the biggest county in Georgia. Now, let's be fair.
Fit. I can be more than fair with you and say he was pandering. I'm not even talking about her.
Very much so.
He was pandering.
I'm gonna dismiss the YSL case. Baby, it doesn't work like that.
And that was the issue for me because Fulton County being the blackest county, one of the blackest counties in Georgia, you think people are just sitting around wanting change only because of the YSL case? Baby, their nephews, their sons, their cousins are dying. This is a very small piece of what's happening in Fulton. She was pandering, so I'm not going to even play there.
So people surprised. I'm like, come on, y'all, come on.
When I saw that was her only competition, yes, I knew it.
Yes,
but if someone else comes around that can truly go against Funny, we'll see. We'll see then, but
you know what though, y'all got to think, and I'm glad you said that the YSL case is such a small piece. You have got to understand Fulton County stretches from Tyrone, Georgia, up to top of Alpharetta. Okay, so it's a lot of people in this area. It's a lot of crime in this area, and people want people that are committing crimes off the street. So if you're getting them off the street, baby, we're gonna keep electing you. We don't care nothing about no young thug. You think those grandmamas and stuff off Cascade and South Fulton care anything about? She tried to prosecute young thugs, so we ain't vote. No, baby, they want the buy-ins. They're trying to break in their house every night, trying to get in their cars every night off the street. So if Funny is gonna get them off, baby, she's gonna stay there until she stops.
They said, I can hear grandmother now. I don't care about a young tune,
young. Thank you. They don't care nothing about that. We mad, right? We're fighting for that. But the city as a whole, they want streets cleaned up. It was just a video on ATL Scoop the other day with a young I don't know, shooting fireworks at somebody at Atlantic Station. Like, I thought it was a video game when I first saw the clip. It took me a few watches to realize this is real life. Like, it's going down in Atlanta, okay?
Listen, Fit, I'm from Memphis. And even being from Memphis, child, I didn't know Memphis was bad until First 48 came out. I was like, this goes on here. It's, now this Memphis now is different than Memphis when I was younger, but it's just, I think it's evident when you are around a certain group of people, you don't see that stuff. So I fast forward, when people come to Atlanta, they say, Mel, show me the hood. Baby, I don't know where it's at.
All over.
I'm in Gwinnett. I live in Gwinnett, and I'm in the house for the most part, especially these last few years.
Yeah. You know what's bad? What you mean you in Gwinnett? You act like you so far removed, baby. You too.
No, what I'm saying about being Gwinnett, I don't know what's going on in Atlanta like that unless I'm seeing it on ATL School. Same with Memphis. I did these water boys. I don't go downtown a lot. Didn't know the water boys was this big of a problem until I started seeing it on the internet.
Yeah.
So I just don't know. And I'm not trying to be around that. I'm not trying to be around it, but I have no problem with speaking about it on my platforms because, like you said, funny. I'm not a big fan, but I am a fan of cleaning up the streets and making sure they are safe because I want to go out. I don't want to be scared when I'm out.
Exactly. Because right now we only go in places with dress codes because it's off the chain.
Make sure they wear listen. Don't, if they can wear Air Force Ones, don't invite me. I don't want to be there.
Okay, it's off the chain.
I don't want to be there. So I do understand what you mean by that. We want our streets to be safe. And you don't want to be, I'm telling you, when you go into Atlanta, the amount of times I hear someone say, just leave the door unlocked. I don't need them busting my windows trying to find anything. It's a problem. It is.
I see somebody saying they saw the Cleveland and East Point exit yesterday. Look, I had to get gas off Cleveland Avenue at that Chevron. I had my gun in my side. I had my gun in my hand the entire time, and it was 3:30 in the afternoon.
Oh, Lord.
Okay. So, I mean, we can't, we love thug and all that kind of stuff. I'm so ATL, but we can't lie. Like, you know what I'm saying? The streets aren't bad. But it's when you get the case, make the arrest legally.
Yes,
the case legally. Indict the case correctly. Just handle your business legally. And there are some great attorneys. One of my friends, a few friends of mine work in the DA's office. So there are some great attorneys in the DA's office. The YSL case just brought out the bad in every part of everything.
It did.
Exposed everything.
It's a lot, Fit. I was telling my live one day, I had to go to the bus station. And I'm driving. The amount of times I've passed that FedEx from the case and didn't know that was the FedEx. Child, I did hit the gas. And I was coming from the bus station. Child, somebody was walking up on my car. I did run a light. And I said, this is why that man ran that red light. You can't be sitting at these red lights.
No, you can't.
You need me to pick you up from Magic City. It's going to have to be in the daytime, child. I hit the gas at that red light. I said,
look, I don't like people pulling up next to me, even with my car. I don't like that. I'm like, what? I'm scared to look over there to the right.
Bad in that trial. I said, I won't be stopping at that little gas station. I said, baby, I'm going to have to make it to the next exit. I won't be stopping there for gas.
Exactly. So y'all got to give us something better than Lil Courtney, okay? Y'all got to give us something better than that. And I'm not in Fulton County, so I didn't vote on it, but I'm just saying that is the reason she's going to stay in office. And the only reason Courtney was out there was somebody just messing with Fonnie. They just wanted her to have to spend some money, run a campaign. Yeah, that's
I'm sorry. I wasn't giving her the time of day. I'm not in Fulton for one. I'm not in Fulton. I'm in Gwinnett, but I wasn't giving her the time of day. No, she can't come on my platform. Because I don't agree with it. I see what we're doing here. And I'm just not going to be a part of that. But
exactly.
Oh, they said Dexter Q Buns.
Look, that thing right now.
Let me tell you something.
Ooh, that trial on those open records. Look, y'all, I don't want no smoke with Buns. Look, I ain't got time for that. I ain't got time to be arguing with him.
Listen, because he won't stop either.
Not either.
He won't stop either. When I saw him, I said, oh, it's everyone in the office. Because he looked like Funny when she was up on that stand with a dress backwards. He looked just like us.
And you know what? I defended the backwards dress up until
you saw it again.
That thing was backwards at that City Hall press conference. Wait a minute. So my girlfriend that works in that office, I texted her. I said, "Tell me why your boss got her dress on backwards again." She said, "I know you lying." I said, "I swear I ain't." I screen recorded. I sent it to her. She said, "I got no words."
I'm just
And I
thinking.
waited to confirm. This, let me tell you how I confirmed it was backwards. I waited for the walk away. I said, "What the back of the dress look like?" It had that little poop in the back for what her stomach supposed to be.
I'm just wondering if it's her style, because some people, when they mess up something, they just incorporate it into their.
Yeah, that's what I said too. It must just be something she said she was gonna go with.
No, I'm just wondering if it makes her feel smaller or something to wear it backwards, because
Can't be.
it's something. It's something, because she won't keep that dress stay backwards.
But I saw the, I ain't gonna say it because it's a little disrespectful, but I saw a really funny comment. She just always look like, yes, Olivia Monique. Okay, yes, that's always the look.
Somebody said it always looked like she was up in that room with that man, and somebody said, "Don't forget you got to be downstairs," and she just throw the dress on, and it's easy to zip forward.
Oh, honey. These just jokes funny. Don't take it out of it now. Don't give out my client's life. Yeah, it just jokes.
It's just funny to see. It's just not my chat. It's not.
Yeah, no, I had that same thought. I was like,
I said, when she was on those steps, what I tell y'all? I said, she got that damn dress on backwards again.
Yeah, and I saw the zipper right here, and I said, "Wait a minute!" I found the clip so I could watch it down, slow it down, zoom in. I gave it all the right angles because I was trying to give it the benefit of the doubt. But I'm with y'all. The dress was on backwards the first time as well.
It's a reason for it, and I know she has a reason for it. Maybe it fit better that way to her. Because that pink dress, I was like, y'all, I have a dress very similar to that, and I'm telling you, it's backwards. People are like, no, it's.
I thought on that one.
I told them, I said, listen, I don't know where her dress is from, but I'm a realtor. I like to get my dresses. I go TJ Maxx, I'm in Ross, I'm in Macy's, and they sell Calvin Klein, Tommy Hilfiger, and they make a lot of those dresses. I said, it's backwards.
It was.
It was. I know we're almost at our hour, and we don't talk about everything that I had without me having to go through.
We cover everything. Don't you just love it when it flows and we check the list off?
Everything that I had, we have spoken about today, and I really appreciate you for coming on. And
Thank you for having me.
I'll make sure that we go back and put her. Let me see if I can get your YouTube link, because I want to put it in the chat.
Oh, yes. Y'all go subscribe.
Go subscribe.
I'll be doing a live for those in Georgia. I'll be going live next week on the 100 new laws in Georgia, so you all can learn. And why am I so mad that Pornhub is gone in Georgia? I'm her is Mac Ruby Woo. The matte version. Okay, back to the Pornhub. Yes, no Pornhub, right? And when I first saw it, I was like, shit, I'm good. I go on YouPorn. Shit, that's the same thing. I did not know. I logged on and the little white lady popped up with her message. I'm like, what is it? You got to be kidding. Let me tell you how hurt I was. I was like, YouPorn supposed to be. Wait a minute. I thought they just said this is on porn. Okay, I said, okay. I got him. I said, let me go to my history. I'm gonna go to my history, and that's how I'm able to get back to the last video I watched, because you get your favorites that you just kind of stay on for a little while. So I'm like, let me go down to the video link. I hit it. That white lady popped back up again. I said, well, okay. I said, let me search the title. I went and got
not the title.
Girl, I went to Google. I put the title in Google. I found it on one of the little side pages. So I'm good right now. But I gotta go. Got a title of another video.
Got they in the chat talking about this gone to Alabama and Florida too.
Girl, wait a minute. I got it. My homegirl stay in North Carolina. She already sent me the VPN. So I got a VPN app. I'm somewhere else that is still good, and we're gonna be back in there. Cause I'm like, what?
Not kissing, you're talking about just turn your location off.
They too smart for that. The location ain't the problem. It's the IP address. It's the IP. That lady popped up. I was like, what is going on? Okay. So that's one law.
Oh, Lord Lord Jesus. Oh, Fit, we will be there. What day? What day is it?
I ain't said a date yet. I'm gonna
Okay,
post
we
it.
gonna be
You
looking for
gotta be careful on YouTube because as soon as you say something, they're gonna lock you in. I got Beyonce concert Monday, so I might need to be
Oh, I'll
tired.
be there
So maybe like
Monday.
Wednesday.
I'll be
Now,
there
y'all
Monday.
still live Wednesday? Do y'all still do the thing on Wednesday?
No,
Okay.
because that's primarily Kayla's thing, and she's not really into a lot of cases. Miss
Gotcha.
J and I, we were doing Fridays for Karen Reed.
Okay.
So now Karen Reed's over.
Okay. So I might do it with next Wednesday. So let's say that next Wednesday we'll do the Georgia update on the 100. So I already told y'all the first one. Another big one that people are no more balloon releases. So when your little friends die, you got we miss Robert's t-shirts. No more balloon releases.
No more balloon releases.
If it's helium balloons. And I ain't never seen nobody breath fill up a balloon that floats in the air.
That floats in the air, so no more.
So no more balloon releases with helium balloons. So that's just a little stuff. We'll get into it next week and learn. You do get your rental application feedback if you don't get approved.
I did see that. So I said that's good because sometimes you have clients who spend a lot of money when they're looking for homes. So I think it's nice that they're giving them their fees back.
Yeah. So if you do not get applied, you can get your money back. So little stuff like that. We'll get into that next week on the show. My friend's asking me to do the new Trump bill. I don't really get into politics though, but
I try not to. I might. Well, you know what, Fit? I don't really get into politics at all because
I don't get into YouTube because there's so much I'm finna argue.
I don't want to argue with people, right?
Exactly.
But I feel like I've argued with more people when it comes to Diddy and Karen Reed than I have since I've been on YouTube. Okay, I feel like the Diddy people were probably worse.
They were.
I defend criminals when it was right as hell.
Yeah, my first Diddy live, I woke up the next morning wanting to fight. My brother had to calm me down. He was like, "You don't even know them. It doesn't matter." I said, "But how they gonna try to tell me?" Well, I had to just say, you know what? That's part of the YouTube world. That was my introduction. It was still last year.
I have a video right now. I refuse to go through the comments. I did one on Young Miami posting this when he got out. Child, the young girls, why is it your business? I just stopped responding to the comments.
Yeah.
Cut the video out, but Melanie will no longer respond on X. Child, me and Mr. Dennis almost had it out because, baby, Mr. Dennis, why are you going so hard? What? He told me I was a professional tweeter. I said, now that's a new one.
Okay. Girl, Mr. Dennis is a mess. Him and Miss Sylvia go with it. I just sit back in the bushes and laugh, honey.
Listen, I just said I just can't respond anymore because I'm not even talking about the sentence anymore, y'all. I just can't do it. So I get it. Diddy was I think worse than YSL. And
because everybody was kind of on the same side with YSL. We were all seeing the BS and
even with my friends, my friends. I told my friend, I said, friend, I hate to lose respect for you over a man I don't know. You can't call me every day to argue with me about this man, telling me he's not a monster. He's just
no, he absolutely is.
No, Fit. She said he's just toxic.
He just no.
Everybody knows the Diddy. I said, no, I don't. I don't know.
Anybody blow up somebody's car because they dating the girl that you not monogamous with? You bring me to my house and call me from there?
Yes, I ain't gonna lie.
It's crazy.
I ain't gonna lie. I did mute him. I said I don't want to not be, friendly with them because I guess that's petty. But I muted the shit out of him though. I said I don't want to see this man on here.
No more.
Now he got a trunk of evidence that proves she lied. I said, damn, were you there? I might need to call me and tell him that she should have called you as a witness.
Right. She should have been up there on his side. You see, he called nobody. That's a telltale sign. Nobody from day one has spoke out for him except his mama.
Well, I think we'll see a change, Fit. I think you'll probably be doing a show where he has a party and some of your faves are at the party, and then they're going to be making these Instagram posts that say he was found not guilty. I respect the justice system. This is America. I can see it now.
Well, you know what, girl, we ain't no telling. I really thought it wouldn't be the same. I don't know if it's going to be the same in business, but we the people are going to be like, come on, Diddy, back to the barbecue. You know how we do.
Well, not we. Don't put me, because
well, it's a whole, like we gave R. Kelly a pass. You don't get one pass.
Let me tell you, my sister is a whole. My daughter asked me. She said, "Were you a fan? Were you a fan before this?" I said, "I was." He just, to me, he was Black excellence. And we look where he came from, what he did, and I said, now I can't unsee it. I just I think the video and hearing the things that he was doing, I'm not even talking about his sexual things. Like, if that's your preference, that's what you do.
Right.
It's just him as even the employees. The employees, because I worked for the IRS for almost 10 years, and it wasn't that crazy, but I experienced workplace bullying and harassment. So I can't even imagine having to work for him. I just can't even imagine it, but
me neither. And then I think somebody's salary was only like $50-some thousand. Like, y'all was taking all of that for. Even when I found out Cassie only got 20, I was like, dang, that just sounds like it's worth about 60.
Yeah, the amount of people, and I don't know if it was her celebrity, if it's the amount of people who don't understand that victims will go back to their abusers time and time again. They will play into what they want.
Yes.
Survive. You know what, my friend Mel? There was a door. She could have walked out of it at any time. I just said, okay.
People are forgetting two big things. That girl was 19 when he got her and signed her to a 10-year album deal. 10-year deal. And he started drugging her prior to her knowledge that she was even taking drugs by slipping it in the Gatorade and other little stuff.
Yep.
So you, at the point that I'm now addicted and hooked and I'm asking for what you groomed me on, I'm still a victim. So I get people, it's hard for people to see that.
Yeah.
But you got to remember, this girl was 19. You know, she got snatched up at 19 by a 40-year-old.
My daughter is 19.
Thank you.
When I look at my baby, child, when we're out together, because we do a lot of stuff together, if we're just walking, if a 40-year-old man walks up to my child with the way I'm gonna be on somebody's internet cussing and going off because she looks like a baby. So I think people forget that. I think so many people there, for whatever reason, they could not see themselves in Cassie, and that was a problem too. Yeah. I don't know if it's her celebrity. I felt like that with the jurors. They couldn't see themselves. You have to be able, like with YSL, I think a lot of people were able to see their nephews, their cousins, their neighbor down the street. They were able to see someone in those young men, and that's what made them so connected to the case.
But they saw that because their story was told. Remember Brian Steele's opening statement and how they got into the history and story? That never was told. So it's like the trial started with this DV tape from the thing. She's 5-6 years into this drugged relationship. It should have started from the beginning. Like, you focused on this salacious video in a sense of, I want y'all to look at Diddy like you hate him.
He's a perv.
Present the case. Present 19-year-old Cassie in the studio with her damn boyfriend, and she's producing, and this man Diddy wooing her over. And it is, y'all, it's not like the freak off started day one. She was groomed for years before that started. So at the time that I introduced you to it, now, you know, I've trained you. Now you want to please me. You want to do this. You know, she really was a victim. And reading her lawsuit and hearing that stuff and seeing the evidence in the lawsuit, because her attorneys put pictures and like, this is how the feds got the case. Like, they gave the lawsuit with evidence. So, I mean, it was a lot of stuff she went through. Diddy forcing her mother to take out a home equity loan.
Why didn't they see that?
The regular people. It's like you coming to my parents asking them to take out a home loan to pay you $20,000 so you don't put out a tape on our daughter, all for you to get the money back. This is the type of person he tortured these people.
Yeah,
Diddy is a mess.
Manipulator. He is the 20,000. I was talking about this one day because I don't know, maybe talking to my daughter. I'm just thinking, this is a normal 9-to-5 worker. You know how much she had to go sit on the phone with loan officers. She had to do this, do that, just for this man to send them. First of all, what does a millionaire need with my 20,000?
Thank you. You already messing with me from day one for asking for the 20 to not post my daughter. Like, your daughter's coming home, running away to her mom's house. Her mom's taking pictures of bruises and is trying to convince her to stay, but her head is so right. I have clients now. I have a client right now that I just sat in the prison last night visiting for 3 hours, and I'm trying to convince her after 6 months in jail and a 10-year toxic relationship to leave, and baby girl ain't getting it. So you can't speak and think how a victim would act or how, unless you're in that situation. So, you know,
I,
Very
I
sad.
agree. I agree. I really just hope that other victims don't look at this as okay, people are not going to believe me, because I feel like the jury sent a clear sign. They didn't believe the victims. They didn't see what the prosecution saw.
Well, I think I didn't hear, I haven't heard any of the jurors speak, so I can't say
I
if
wonder if
they
they will.
said anything. But I feel like, I mean, they did believe some of the stuff presented, right? Because they found him guilty of the Mann Act. So they believed that he got hired these prostitutes for these free calls. And I think had he been charged with DV or something, they would have found him guilty of that, right? It was just a hard reach for the RICO because you're not presenting this organized crime, drug, BMF kind of thing to them. You know what I'm saying? So it was a hard thing to buy, but maybe if they had individually, if they had just focused on what actually did happen, he used his company and the people employed under him to commit coercion, kidnapping, arson, then it might have been a different result. But they focused on the salaciousness of the freak offs, thinking that was going to turn people's stomach when we all upset in Georgia over Pornhub. So clearly we don't have a problem with freakiness. Right?
No,
So
there was an attorney who said, listen, he's in Manhattan. There are people, they said his peers on this jury. He said, I'm sorry, but the average man probably got turned on looking at those videos, probably felt like this is what millionaires do. This is how they live their lives. And when that man said it wasn't even bad, I said, oh, hell. I think maybe they thought they would see the coercion on the tapes, him beating her on those tapes, and you did not see that. You saw someone who seemed to be enjoying what was happening. And then here we go. Here we go.
And so that the tapes and stuff, that shouldn't have been the focus. You know what I'm saying? The focus, we should have focused on the acts that he committed that you can prove under this RICO. So just the way the case was presented, I think, was different. And like I say, not like you said, the difference with YSL, not letting us connect to Cassie. Nobody made that connection. We're looking at a pregnant woman on the stand worth millions that got 20 million from a lawsuit. That's how we're seeing her. We can't see the child.
The story was sad, but I just couldn't connect because even through text, I was like, it seemed like her testimony, it seemed a little weird. And weird as in I still love him. And her saying, her laughing like, oh yeah, I remember that day. We went to the mall. Like it was like, dang, I think that was
I'm
hard.
testifying against him.
Oh, Jane. What Jane say? Oh, wait, this is against him? Like, how didn't you know that? So I do think all of that played a part, and I mean I hate that for the victims, but like I've been saying time and time again, we have to respect the jury. We weren't there, don't know what the deliberations were, so respect the jury. This is what it is. So now we're just waiting. We'll see what happens with sentencing.
Yeah, and they gave too many people immunity, right? Because I mean, you don't have a RICO alone. So he had co-conspirators, but you didn't charge KK. You didn't charge this part. Like everybody's getting off. You just got just Diddy.
Listen, and I think that was a problem too. We're hearing about all these people we didn't hear from. D-Rock, I knew for sure. I said, oh, I can't wait till he gets on the stand. KK, I can't wait till she gets on the stand. None of them get on the stand. So yeah, I think that was a problem too. But yeah, I know we're at an hour. We're a little over the hour. So again, I thank you so much for coming on. This was an amazing time. We have to find something else sometime.
I know we had a good time together.
It's amazing. I appreciate you for coming on, and I just need to make sure you tell Mook when you talk to him that we did come on and explain everything, because I've been needing to do this because I want to make sure my audience, they're always asking, well, what's going on with Mounk Tounk? And although I had the readings, I hadn't sat down to read the latest one. It said Cat, she'll post them. So I always save them. So this was so good that you could come on and explain that to us. Even told some of y'all that Pornhub is gone.
Yes, it's gone in Georgia. We struggling. Now, I did find out though, if your number is registered somewhere else, like let's say you moved from like Baltimore or something else, you still good. Yeah, it's us that got our phones here in Georgia that are struggling. So if you get snapped on by folks and people just a little uptight, you know what I'm saying? Just know we struggling. The single folks, we struggling. Okay.
Oh God, Fitz said the single people struggling.
It's hard to be single. Like I don't want to be outside and giving it to everybody, so
Look at that. Look at God. Look at that.
I see Alchemy in the chat. Some people from my channel are over. Yay, shout out. Thank you, Miss CDB in the chat. Look at me reading through your chat like it's my show. I'm sorry.
Wait a minute, is your chat not on
shout
here?
out. Huh?
You not have your chat on here too?
No.
No? Okay. I
was
thought
seeing everybody over here.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you. I thought you were gonna stream from yours too.
No, I just sent it. Let everybody come over to your channel and watch it. So yes, thank you so much. It was such an honor to be invited over. So thank you so much for having me on. I'm always surprised when y'all be like want to hear. I'll be like, oh, okay, I'll come.
Now let me tell you something. When it comes to YSL, I don't know. I can speak from my page. I can speak from Miss J's page. Child, they want to keep up. We want to know what's going on. Anytime something new comes up, we're gonna talk about it, especially trying to keep up with what's going on with Mounk Tounk. Hell, when people putting out projects, whatever.
Yeah,
we want to know, because for me, we became a family through YSL. So, child, look, they can't get rid of me. They can't get rid of me now. So we are locked in. So anytime something comes up,
yes.
Look, they said now she can come back. They said Fit can come back.
I passed the vibe check. Like, is you cool,
man? They tough over here.
Girl, I be seeing your chat. But look, I'm good in any hood, so I ain't.
my chat, it's sad. My family knows it. My family is like, oh, don't go there playing in mail chat.
Mail chat don't play. They'll be on you sometimes. They want you to change it up. So I'll be like that.
Sometimes, Fit. I have to say my biggest ops, these people in the chat. They don't play. They will not. They won't let me mess up anything.
No, it was great being here though. Your chat is amazing. Thank you all so much. It was just a joy. I'll come back anytime. I'll be on, so y'all check me out on my channel. Yes. I'm just in these YouTube streets when I can get in, because I am still full-time practicing, so I can't be on all the time, but I'm still present. So,
gosh, you see him Fit. Mel just the host. We run this.
I see. Girl, they on the chain. They look, these YouTube. I remember one time I got on my live, somebody was like, hurry up and get to. I'm like, excuse me.
Oh, they don't play Fit. Don't let me be late. Because they really will keep me together as far as like when it comes to projects. Stand on there. Thank you, Forrest. They said thanks to a very intelligent attorney, classy, well-spoken, enjoyed your presence.
Oh, thank you, Forrest Gump. Thank you. Yes.
But it's really amazing. So I appreciate it. They said, shut up, Fit, if you want to come back, contact management.
I love it.
They are, man.
Girl, they love. Don't they send you ideas? I love my fans. They send me stories. They send me links. They say, "Oh, girl, look at this." When somebody talking about me on their channel, they send me the link. And I go check it out. When the haters.
I try to. Let me tell you something, Fit. They know by now. If somebody talking about me, because during YSL, it used to get really ugly. Even though I would try to stay over here, I stay in my lane. It would get ugly. I just be like, don't tell me. I don't want to know, because what I don't want to do is be acting Memphis. I don't want to act. I don't want to act Memphis, but it got to the point during YSL, if people were talking crazy under my page, under my video, child, don't say something. They already took care of it, child.
I already got it. That's a good. I love the chat. Everybody's chat is
comments.
Yes, the chats are amazing. Look at that. We the chat approved this guest. Okay, so I passed.
Yeah. They said to my wait, Fit, do you actually listen to your channel?
Okay, so I do sometimes. So like the last live I just did, I did because it's my first time back in a month or so. So I'm going through, but sometimes you don't have time to, but I do sometimes go back and listen. Sometimes.
I go back. I watch the chat, because if it's a lot of people in here, I can't keep
yeah, that too. It's hard to keep up. People don't understand. Sometimes they're like, you only reading out the super chat. That's the only ones I can see. I wish y'all could see these words on the screen moving so fast.
Oh, don't let me
going already.
Yes, I'm like, well, they know by now. I put it on slow mode so that I can interact as much as I can.
Yeah.
That's my favorite part of doing this. I mean, I wish I knew this 10 years ago.
I know, isn't it so fun? And I love so I will always do the live because some people do like a podcast when you're not paying attention to the chat and I want to see the chat. I want to see the interaction because even though I'm sitting in my house talking to myself somewhat, it feels like I'm not because the people in the chat are interacting and then they argue and fuss with everybody. So, but bet she don't post their comments on her story.
I do. When I go back and watch the live fit and they out of pocket, I will.
You call them out?
Oh, I guess ma'am, because sometimes they just really get out of order.
Yeah, you got to get them in check. Do like Jasmine Crockett do, put them on blast, show them messages. Sometimes you got to call them out.
Oh wow, they're being real messy today, and this is why we're gonna just go ahead and end the live. I saw y'all say something about an after show. I think I might just are y'all trying to go on TikTok, or are you talking about here? Because I'll end this.
Thank you, love you too. I'm seeing some of the comments. Y'all are the best. So make sure y'all go like, subscribe, and share, and then tune in next Wednesday for
I'll be there
in Georgia that have changed.
I'll be there, and I'm starting to stream Millie's first trial, so that way I can remind them once we're done for the day. We'll come over there on Wednesday.
Okay, and when is the second trial starting?
I don't think it's gonna start yet. They're trying to push it back. The state is trying to push it back because
he's still in jail.
He is still in jail.
That man been in jail 6 years, right?
Denied his bond, I believe, twice.
Oh God!
And within the last 2 to 3 months, they've denied it twice. I don't think it's gonna start in September. I just don't, and I don't see him taking a plea. I don't see him doing that. So I think he's just gonna be there for probably another year or so before he's another case, guilty or innocent. I just can't believe he's been in jail this long.
Yeah, it's some funky stuff with that case. It's interesting. So I like that you covered that. I peek in on that sometimes.
Yeah, we're gonna watch the entire first trial.
Okay.
And again, I don't think we're gonna have the second one in September, but yeah, we're gonna start.
Okay, that'll be fun. Well, good luck on that. Well, thank you for having me
so much. I appreciate it. Thank you. Y'all, I'm gonna end this stream and then I'll start a new one.
All right, y'all. See you later.
See you later. Bye. Bye, y'all.